Okay, y'all, I'm back. So this episode gonna be a quick little video regarding the ignition switch replacement on the Hayabusa Gen 1. So all you're gonna need, I'm gonna spell it out for you really quick. All you need is an Allen key to remove this. All you need is an Allen key to remove this bolt right here. So you get your Allen key, you stick it in there like so, and you remove this one, right? All right, so you remove that. That's gonna allow you to slide this completely over. So when you remove it, you slide this over, slide it over. All right, next what you're gonna need a 12 millimeter wrench to remove this bolt. 12 millimeter wrench to remove this bottom bolt right here. And then you're gonna need another 12 millimeter wrench, one wrench and one ratchet wrench, one to hold one side and the other to ratchet the other side to remove this. That's literally holding on your cluster, okay? So you got one spot at the top, one spot at the bottom for each bolt and nut. All right, so you remove this Allen and then this one and that one. So you remove those two. Once you do that, you're gonna be able to lift this up and move it over to the right. Move it over that way, right? And then you remove those two right up here, and then that's gonna allow your cluster to come out, right? You're gonna have a small screw on one side of the cluster. That screw right here, another Allen that connects this little duct, right? So you're gonna remove that screw with another Allen, remove that screw, and you have one on this side for this duct right here as well. You remove that one. Then you can completely take out completely the cluster, right? So now you have the cluster out of your way. You have this duct out the way. You have this duct just staying right here because you have all your wiring and all that stuff still remaining. Now you have one harness that plugs up into the back of the cluster. You remove that one as well. They have a little dust cover over it. It plugs in on one side. All you have to do, see, too close. There we go. So on one side of this cluster, this harness, you just press it in and push it out. And pull it out, I'm sorry. Press it in and pull it out. So after you do that, you have your cluster off, have everything out of your way, and then this spot right here and right here, 1, 2, 1, 2, are where those safety torque bolts are. So these bolts right here, or screws, or whatever you want to call them, right? So you need your T40. Get your T40 with the hole in it, hole in the middle, to remove those. You don't have anything in your way. You literally could get good positioning on it, remove one, and then remove the second one in either order, right? After you do that, you turn your handlebars all the way to the right. When you turn your handlebars to the right, like that, right? Turn it all the way to the right. When you turn it all the way to the right, that's going to allow the ignition switch, the old one, to come straight out from the bottom. And then you undo the harness, it connects right here. You undo the harness, and that's it. Well, some people, if you don't buy an OEM harness, the problem that you're going to have is that the new harness doesn't have a resistor. So this is the new harness, China harness, doesn't have a resistor in it. So this wire right here, there's a black and white wire, a black wire with a white line that's running through it. So you're going to cut that wire and you're going to install a 1 watt, 100 ohm resistor. So you get about a little bit further down, probably halfway, let's just say halfway, you know, you remove this sheathing, and then you cut the wire, the black wire with the white line. You strip it on both sides. This is the key side, okay? This is the key side of the harness. You install a resistor, and then you go ahead and solder it on both sides of the wire, and then you apply some heat shrink around that, and you should be good to go. You just install it back in reverse. The problem that I'm having is, or that I've had, I didn't check it before I installed it. The actual lock itself. So there's this little silver portion that comes out, which allows you to lock your steering. Well, it comes out like if I push it down and I actually lock it, like you have to, so that's in the on position. If I turn it one time, that's off. If I push it down and turn it, that mechanism is supposed to come out and stay out. The problem is it doesn't stay out, it goes back in. So it won't allow me to actually lock the steering on it. So I have to buy a new one, a new one. I'm gonna buy OEM, spend the extra money, and that way you won't have to actually install a resistor and all of that stuff. Now, this is the original harness ignition switch right here. And as you can see, that little mechanism, that shaft is sticking out, right? The problem I was having with this one is that you have to wiggle the key to get the key out. And I didn't want to break the key or anything like that, or be in a position where I was riding and I wasn't able to actually remove the key, or the key got stuck or broke or whatever. So key goes in, right? You push it down, that shaft itself goes back in, then you turn it, and it's on. It's in the on position. You turn it one time to the left, it's in the off position. You push it down, you push the key down, and you turn it all the way to the left, and then that shaft comes out, and it stays out. It's locked, right? See how it's sticking out? That shaft is sticking out. The problem is I have to wiggle the key a certain kind of way to get it out, and I didn't want to have to damage it or run into an issue where I couldn't get the key out or whatever. But I probably should have just went ahead and cleaned the doggone key up and called it a day, and kept this one installed. Have to have some little force with it. I think it probably would have been fine if I would have did that, but me being who I am, I didn't, and I don't have a spare, so I took this one off. But I might put this one back on for the time being, like I might not, I don't know. So we will see. All right, people, quick. So the new ignition switch, some of them come with a resistor, some of them don't. Okay, somebody posted comment saying the F1 light was blinking, yada yada yada, right? So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna buy your kit, pack of resistors, right? You get the kit, you open it up, I don't know which one I use. Maybe it's on the ground somewhere over there or something. Yeah, here it goes. Get your kit, open it up. It's gonna have 100 on it. The one with 100 on it is for 100 ohms. You take you one of those off of there. You cut the black wire with the white stripe, and you go ahead and cut the wire, and you solder on a resistor on each end of the wire, just like I did just right here, right? Plug it up back to your harness. You don't put nothing back together. You got to make sure it works. Plug it back up to your harness like I did right there. And obviously you got to have a little soldering iron for the solder. Get your kit online as well. Comes with all of that, the flux, the different tips, the flux and everything. So I plugged up the soldering iron, let it run for a few seconds, got me a little solder, let it drip right on there on the wire so it doesn't come apart. And let me put this around my neck so you guys could see. If your F1 light was flashing, that's because you don't have a resistor or a capacitor. No, I'm sorry. That's because you don't have a resistor hooked up to the actual harness or mechanism that you purchased. So I got it all hooked up just like that. It's exposed, or you could just wrap it around there and tape it, but it's probably going to eventually come off. And take your key, plug it in, put it in, turn your bike on. Hear that? Fuel pump has been engaged. Just give me 1 second. I plugged it. I got everything plugged in. Got the key in. Turn it. Hear it engaging the fuel pump. Just gonna go ahead and sit this right here, like so. Clutch down. Starts the bike right up. Okay, this bike has been sitting for a while, so but it starts it right up. Okay, no more F1 light, but every time you hit the throttle, it dies. So okay, so we'll figure it out. Well, we got the resistor hooked on there, so it's working. Keys in the ignition. To be honest, I would probably just get ignition switch with another resistor if you don't feel comfortable with doing this type of work. But it's totally up to you. The key used to get stuck like when you turn it and all of that. So you have to wiggle it in there a certain kind of way and turn it. But I think it's actually fine. Now this new one that I put on there, that's on there currently, it doesn't have this mechanism coming out of it to lock the bars, but so I'll just keep this one as a spare, and that'll just be that. So I keep it as a spare, put everything back together, and if I ever want to change out the ignition switch again and put a new one on there that has an actual lock that comes on it, like in and out of it, I can. So there you have it. You got the black wire with the white stripe, same wire. On the key side, as I mentioned before, solder on that resistor on both sides. This looks like crap, but I'll fix it and make it a little bit look a lot prettier. Then get some heat shrink and put over this, and then put some heat shrink over the whole thing, the whole harness, so none of the wires get snagged. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. So please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.